Aloha, it's Matthew, and I've got beads today. I have the April 2026 Sam's bead box. It's called Lavender Love. This is the style of box I typically like to organize my bead box into. And then I had any extras can go, these are removable. So they're adjustable in that way and extras can go in the side. But my friend on YouTube, Becky, recommended these 15 grid organizers that are on Amazon, and they're much more affordable. So I'm gonna give it a shot with this month and see if I like these better. And then when I get done with the box, I made this little necklace today, in fact, and it's made with 11.0 and 6.0 seed beads there on the chain, and then some Red Creek Jasper 4mm beads. And then this pendant is petrified wood. I got that in Kailua over on Oahu when I was visiting my bestie Christopher. I need to get a photo of how it hangs because this second part drapes right behind the first when it's on. So I'll pause it here so that I can insert a photo for later, what it looks like when it's worn. And if you like these nails, get into it. I made a video on how to make these marbled nails, and it's the last video that's on my YouTube channel here. So if you're into that, just check it out. It's the last one I posted. All right, let's get started on this. I already took a peek in the box the first day it came because I was so thrilled. I could not wait. But let's go through this together. And then, like I said, I'm going to try and use these beads and make something very similar in structure to this one. Although, obviously, we're going to have different gemstones. And we're going to have different, a different pendant. Kind of little sneak peek right here. I'm just going to jump ahead. There's an order to go through these, but this pendant is magical. I'm going to zoom in on that. It is amethyst with banded agate below it. It's just gorgeous. And the funny thing is, about 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, I ordered these ones, which I think are from the same cutter, but have different, like there's more of that brown in this one, and this one has way more of the banded agate. But I was just really trying to figure out how or what to put them on because, let me zoom back out, because all of the amethyst that I looked at online when I was trying to order amethyst gemstones to string with it, they were all really, really dark purple, like this kind. And what I really needed was something light purple like this one. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, the first thing on the list are check glass mini tulips. They're in a light tanzanite gold. Let me dig those out here. They're in a light tanzanite. So if you can see the light coming through there, they're a translucent purple with a gold wash. And you get a 12-piece strand. Those are 7x9mm. And let's see here. I have some clippers here. So if you guys are familiar with Danielle Wicks, she does so many amazing tutorials on YouTube, and I'll have to credit her for that necklace. If you look up the Luna Moth seed beaded necklace, that's the original video that I got this from her. I did a few modifications in on mine, so it is a little bit different, but the structure is based off of her video. Second up, we've got Check Polish Fire Polish Rondelles. I'm sorry, Check Glass Fire Polish Rondelles in Springtime Mix, which is right here. These guys are so pretty. Look at those sparkles on the facets. I'm gonna zoom in so you can really see them. They're faceted and they're like a mixed color of glasses. So there's that almost like translucent teal, and there's a milky white, and then some green, and then some like ochre colored. It's really pretty. Look at that one right there with the, look at that translucent one right there. All right, let's zoom back out. All right, these guys. So now with my other one, my other box that I normally use, there's usually enough space for everyone, but on these ones, there may need to be roommates, as Becky calls them. Next up, we have Check Glass Lacy Coin in Green Luster. These are 14 millimeter, and you get a 6-piece strand. They're a beautiful translucent green, and I think the camera's picking up. They have a luster on there as well. Really pretty. And I think that this box really hit the nail on the head for matching this pendant, because these like translucent greens and these translucent purples are really, I mean, they're perfect. Okay, so let's drop these ones here in their own bin and go from there. Okay, next up we have Check Glass English Cut in Peridot. That's this guy here. And those are 3.5 millimeter. You get a 50-piece strand. English cut essentially means like it's like a cube where the corners have been cut off is the best way to describe English cut. So it almost is like faceted because the way that all the different angles catch the light. So let's put this guy in his own bin. And I think I see what I'm going to put in here with him if I need to have the space for it. Okay. We've got Pink Amethyst Pebble Nuggets. That's these guys. And I think I searched Pink Amethyst once I got this box, because what I'm looking for is something that's more translucent and light colored. Because look at the amethyst on this part here that totally matches that much better than a dark, rich purple amethyst. I'm going to leave this one on the string for now. It said that it is a 15-inch strand, but when I measured it, I have 16 inches here. So I got quite a few of these. And you know what? I think I'm going to cut them. I'm going to cut it and see if they'll fit in one of these boxes, or one of these grids here. Wish me luck. I think these might be utilized in the necklace that I plan to make here at the end. Oh, and just a spoiler alert, I do plan on taking a break to make dinner and have dinner, and so when I get back, the Coqui Frogs are probably going to be singing. Like I told you guys, I think on the last video, I'm just going to have to start making videos in the evenings, which I've tried to avoid before because the Coqui Frogs do come out and they're quite loud. But I just have to utilize the time that I have available to make videos for you guys. Oh, and look at that. It fits. Okay. So then we've got Check Glass Aspen Leaf in a green luster mix. And these are just beautiful. These green have the same luster as these ones, these translucent green ones. And then this silky, milky color looks much like the white glass that's in those. So let's, I think, oh, life's full of tough decisions. I think I'm going to put these ones in with these ones, because although they're similar, they're very different. I mean, I just want to make sure that I can see that both of them are in there. Get it a little stir up. Oh yeah, and the hole on these ones goes front to back. And that's a new leaf to me. I love using leaf beads, but most of the ones that I have either go through this direction or this direction, like through what would be like a stem. All right, next up we have check glass square flower in stone luster. Oh my goodness, these guys, these look so beautiful, but they're like a neutral, but at the same time they've got that luster. Yeah, I'm digging it. Okay, and they're gonna get their own bin over here. Oh, those are 11 millimeters and you get an 8-piece strand. And then next we have Peridot mini chips grade B. They're mostly 2.5 to 4 millimeters and you get a 14.5-inch strand. And these Peridot chips I am gonna leave on the strand just since they're so small and chip. They'll be much easier to string and use later on if they're already on the strand. So I'm just gonna pop those right in here with those English cut Peridot check glass beads, just like that. Tuck him in. All right, next up we've got check glass daggers in a lavender opal mix. These are 5 by 15.5 millimeters, 25-piece strand. I think on the last video I showed you guys Rachel from Sam's Bead Shop did a video showing how to make these earrings from the last month's box. And so I made a set of these for my coworker Lolly, who's moving to the police department. And so it's this cluster of dangle, it's very boho and lots of movement, right? I made her a pair of those to go, right, as a going away gift and / birthday gift. But her favorite color is purple. So I may end up having to make her a third pair of going away earrings with these ones. We'll see about that. I mean, I like the girl, but I don't know if I need to make 3 things for her to send her away. All right, I'm gonna cut this little end off. And they're gonna get, oh, I don't think I got the whole thing. Let's go at this end. There we go. Set those loose. Oh, and what did I say? Those were 5 by 15.5. There's a 25-piece strand. So there's that. Next up, we have check glass bicone in stone luster. So it's the same finish as those square flowers. You got that nice creamy khaki color, but with the luster still. And that's gonna be a great neutral for, to tie in this purple and green palette. And I think I'm going to put them right in the same box as the square flowers. Yeah. Oh, goodness. Oh, Lord. Okay. There we go. We got runaways. Okay. There we go. Next up, we have amethyst faceted round grade A. These are 8 millimeter and it's a 10-piece strand. These are definitely going to go on some sort of fancy necklace. I don't think that or maybe even a bracelet. That could, I mean, if I put like a little bit more space in between them, that could definitely be a beautiful bracelet. Oh yeah, this is my favorite stack of bracelets right now, you guys. My bestie Christopher sent me this one, and then I strung these 2. This is just like leftover leather scraps that I glued into a magnetic clasp, and I think those all look really good together. These ones, I'm just going to set aside from now. I don't have a home for them yet because I think I might leave them stranded just to keep them from scratching up against each other. Next up, we have Canadian Jade Smooth Round Grade A 6.5 millimeter. And this is a 9.5 inch strand. You know, that seems like more than 9.5 inches. Yeah, that's like 10.25 inches. So extra beads. And they're just a nice opaque green bead to go with all these translucent ones. It'll set those off nicely. And the size of bead over here is 4 millimeters, but that's just like the base structure for that necklace. This might end up being the bead that I use for the main color in the necklace, or possibly up along the chain of the necklace and then switch to purple along the bottom. I'm still kind of figuring it out in my mind. Okay, let's get all those in that space there. All right. Okay, got a couple more strands here. We've got check glass fire polished purple opal 3 millimeter. Oh my gosh, these are so pretty. And I was thinking of stringing this with these as spacer beads in between, just as is. No, not even having a focal, just a nice purple necklace. I have green eyes, and so I look really good in purple. In fact, the hoodie that I wore to work, I wear a hoodie on top of my work shirt sometimes because they blast the AC at work and it can get very cold. Okay, I'm gonna put these ones here. Those are 3 millimeters, so you get a 60-piece strand like that. And I think this might just sit in there with those for now, because I can definitely see around that strand and see those guys in the bottom. Okay. All right, so that is, oh, nope, the last one is table cut rectangles. This is check glass table cut rectangles in light peridot copper and purple opal. So you got the purple opal here, and then this is the light peridot with a copper wash. And these table cut ones, they make the glass beads and then they do this table cutting, which I'm told there aren't many people in the Czech Republic that do that anymore. So they make these, it makes these beads more more desirable and harder to get since there's such a long wait list for them. All right, I'm gonna put all those guys back there. They might end up moving in here with the tanzanite tulips. All right, on to the bagged items. We've got the agate and quartz amethyst smooth coin pendant. This is a 30 millimeter pendant. This is just gorgeous, you guys. I know I already showed it off, but come on. Isn't that beautiful? This is going to be the focal for the necklace that I make tonight that's based on this one. Let's just, this one can just sit right on top of those because I'm going to use it tonight anyway. Next up, check glass earring pairs, table cut pear brios. That's table cut pear brio and bird coin. Okay, so we get these table cut pear brios. Do you see how this was how the bead was made, and then they cut that flat surface onto them so that you can see this milky purple color underneath. And then these bird coins would look really cute with them. Just boom, there you go. You've got a simple pair of earrings, right like that. Maybe throw a purple gem chip right there in the middle. Done. Cute pair of earrings. let's put, I'm gonna give them their own space for now. And then we've got check glass drook round in light lilac. We have that in 8mm rounds, and we also have it in 11 by 16mm ovals. And oh, I'm sorry, I'm out of frame. These translucent purples are beautiful. These ones are glass, but these ones are gemstone, but they look very similar. But obviously with these ones, you're going to get a more uniform rounded bead, where these ones are more free-form nuggets. And then let's put that in there. And then this is just probably the luster coating. Sometimes you'll see that like right at the end of the beads. That comes off. And I mean, if it bothers you, most of the time that'll get just rubbed off and, you know, knocked away as you're making the your piece. Like there's some on this one, but it's just part of the, this is probably a clear glass base, and then that purple is a translucent coating. And those little nuggets on the end happen when the coating is put on, when it's already on the strand. Okay, next up we've got check glass dancing flower ovals in crystal gold. And that is right here. You get 16 by 20mm, 3-piece set. And all these gold washes, like in this one, in the tanzanite tulips, and coming up here in the next one, that was kind of the inspo behind these marbled nails. But let's take a look at these dancing flower. Do you see the flower right there? And you got 2 ovals, you got 3 set here. So you could do like a pair of earrings and then do this as a dangle with like a beaded tassel on a necklace. I think that might be a set that's gonna come to fruition. And then we have these check glass deco oval matte peridot with a gold wash. These are 12 by 16.5mm, 3-piece set. I mean, exact same type of thing. You could make these into an earring set with that being a focal. You could even, the proportion's not quite right for those brios. Never mind. But these could definitely string along. Maybe in the necklace part, those could be the accent beads up the way. Tie in the, although these ones are matte and these ones are translucent, I think they still look nice together. All right, let's put those in their last spot there. And I have one last thing. It's the bag of metal components. Somebody's got to move in with somebody. I think I'm going to put these 3 in with these purples in the back, because that's just going to be the easiest thing to, I can see all those, excuse me. Okay, and so then our metal components here, we have a 2-piece set of these tulip teardrop pendants. And so these could either be a pendant or a set of earrings. I mean, super quick earrings, you guys. And this I would think is the front, because it has almost a beveled appearance. If you look at this backside, see there, all these pieces are wider on the back. I mean, in theory, you could make either side the front, but to me, this is definitely the front. And, you know, you could make either 2 necklaces or an earring set. And this is just begging to be brick stitched around or add a dangle here. I see that. And then, got a jumper. And then we get a 10-piece set of these heart links. They're 8.5mm by 14.5mm. And that could be a cute links in a wire, like a rosary wire necklace or bracelet. Those are cute. All right, those are gonna go into the metal pile, and we got our box sorted. All right, you guys, I'm gonna go get some dinner and brainstorm a little bit more. I'm gonna figure out which beads I'm going to use for a necklace that is like, it's going to look like this. We're going to have the two pieces here with the, that's how it looks when I wear it, with the drape behind and then the seed bead chain maybe. If not the seed bead chain, then we might be using, I kind of wanted to use only beads in the box, but we might have to pull in some seed beads. So, all right, you guys, I'll catch up with you here in a minute. Okay, I'm back. And it's actually the next day. I came back after dinner yesterday, and I just could not get the idea that I wanted to come to fruition, right? So I wanted to do something that's much like this necklace from the Sam's Bead box for April, the Lavender Love box. But I was trying to restrict myself and not use any seed beads, which this whole strand part is seed beads. So I was really like trying hard, and it just, what I was putting together just wasn't working. So I pulled out my seed beads because I have a ton, you guys, and I should use them. There's just no reason for me to not use them. So these ones are size 11-0 in, it's transparent, light, smoky topaz Picasso. Quite a mouthful. But I have it also in 6-0. I don't know why my camera keeps losing focus. I'm sorry, you guys. So we got 6-0s there. And while I was at work today, in between calls, I worked on the center section. And so this is what I finally came up with for the middle section. And see, what I was really having trouble with was the fact that in this original necklace, it's very measured with those 4mm beads. And then these purple amethyst ones are all kinds of different sizes, right? Because they're nuggets. So this is going to be the center section. But let me take that off the strands because we need to get the seed beaded rope part first. Okay, so again, and now I'm gonna have to remember what I explained in the first part of the video when I was trying to make it work versus starting entirely over. So I grabbed about 9 feet of 6-pound fireline. If you take chain nose pliers and pinch the end of your fireline, it will flatten out. You see it's like flatter there, which makes it so much easier to thread. You know, there are tricks to thread it without doing that, but if you do that, it just makes it so much simpler, and then you're not fighting the needle to thread your fireline. So what we're doing is we're gonna thread both ends of the fireline. So you fold it in half, both ends of the fireline get a 10-0 seed bead on it. Or I'm sorry, 10-0, a size 10 beading needle, goodness. Okay, and so what we're gonna do is this section here, maybe it's because I keep putting my hand that it loses the focus. This section here, right? And so what we're gonna start with is 3 seed beads on the right needle and 3 on the left. And what I said in the other one that I'm having to repeat now is that if you can't run a needle with your left hand, then just pick up with your right hand, swap hands, and pick up with your right hand again. But what I did was I got 3 on each needle there, and then we're gonna put a 6-0. We're gonna put both needles through the 6-0. Okay. And then we're gonna run the, oh, so sorry. Before you put the 6/0 on, you wanna add one end of your clasp. I'm gonna use a toggle clasp. So 3 seed beads, 3 11/0s on each strand, go through your clasp, and then both needles through a 6/0. And then slide that all the way down to the end. Okay. And then you don't need to reinforce this because we are going to come back all the way back through the entire necklace. So we're going to do 11 seed beads. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then 11 on this one. Okay, and then we're going to put both needles through a 6/0 seed bead. And then each one of these sets of the 11 11/0s, and then both through the 6/0 is going to give you about an inch worth of length, about an inch. So you can use that in factoring how long you want to make your necklace. At work, I strung these up and I measured that to be about 5 inches for the center of the necklace. And I want a 20-inch necklace. So I'm figuring 7 inches on each side is what I want, plus the 5 in the middle, plus the clasp is going to give me about 20 inches. So you can figure out how long you want your necklace to be, if you want it longer or shorter. If you want it more like a choker, use fewer of these sections. If you want it to dangle much further, add more. I'm gonna put 7 of these sections on, and I'll meet you back here in just a second. Okay, just kidding, you guys. In order to get 7 inches, that's still only 6.5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I did 9. I think I'm going to do one more. I'm going to do 10. And I do actually have a couple tips I forgot to say. So especially when you're working with these transparent Picassos, sometimes the dotted Picasso speckles can make it look like your transparent bead is wonky. So what I do is when I'm pulling them onto my needle, I roll it toward myself like this. And I still haven't found a bad one yet. But when you find a bad one, you'll see it rolls really funny. It'll wobble back and forth. It's hard to talk and count at the same time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's that tip, right? So especially with the left hand where you might not be as dexterous, like doing that roll is going to, oh, you see how that one's really skinny? I'm gonna zoom in. This one is thinner than almost all the other ones. Thin enough that I'm gonna reject it. Because it's gonna make, although they have subtle differences, that one's a really big difference. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I need 11. There we go. 3, 6, 7, 8, 10. There's 11. Okay. So then the other tip that I have is when you're working with the 2 needles and you're about to go to do the 6/0, in order to keep your threads from crossing and tangling a bunch, I always just pick one. It doesn't matter which one, but my right one, I've been putting lower. Do you see that? So then I pinch both the needles to let the 11/0s drop. And then now they're close together. I'm going to drop my 6/0 on, both needles, and then I can just push that one apart in order to split the needles again. And I have the same needle in the same hand. That way I'm not intertwining the strands a whole bunch and making this get all twisty. I mean, there is some, obviously you can see that there is some twist here, and that doesn't really matter when you wear the necklace throughout the day. These can roll around and flip on each other, but just to avoid having excessive twists in it, that's what I do. Okay, so there is 10. 10. Okay, and so at this point, we are going to split. And again, we're going to come back through this, so no need to reinforce that clasp or do anything yet. We're going to come back through here. So we're going to split into the different strands that I showed in the beginning. And for this strand here, this section, it doesn't matter which one you take. I'm going to take this one and set it aside for now. That's the left-hand strand. But again, it doesn't really matter. And then I'm going to grab my right one. And since I already had these strung from work, I'm going to pick them up how I had them. And so there's 5 11-0s, and then one of, what are these called? They're check glass bicones in stone luster. They're 6 millimeters, and they came from the Sam's Bead box this month. They're down there with the flowers that match them. And then this whole strand is, or this portion of this strand is, let me drop that back, is 5 seed beads, 4, 5, and a bicone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me get those on there. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a bicone. And so I had tried like grabbing some gemstones. I have some amethyst, but almost all the amethyst that I own is like really deep purple, because that's typically what is the desired shade of amethyst. But this light pink amethyst is really matching this pendant and those other ones that I showed at the beginning, or when I was opening the box. Sorry, it's the next day and I'm trying to remember what I said yesterday. So we're going to repeat this a total of 11 times. 5, oh, I took it off screen. We're going to repeat this 11 times. 5 seed beads, bicone, 5 bicone, 5 bicone, 11 times. Meet me back when you're done with that. Okay, so I have done that 11 times. And then I added another 5 on the end. So I'm gonna slide those down toward the center. You don't want to yank too hard on this because the end with the clasp is not secured yet, and your thread can transfer through. Okay, so I'm going to set aside that strand, and I'm going to grab the other needle, and we're going on this side, we're going to go 3 seed beads, 3 11-0s. And then when I was at work, I did take these nuggets and I sized them out to where these 5 are about the same length as these 5, because I do want the pendant to sit central. So you do have to sort through your nuggets a little bit, because some of them will be drilled a little funny, some of them will be shorter, some of them will be longer. So that is a step that you need to take to make sure that you have balance. And I'm doing a nugget, a seed bead, a nugget, a seed bead, a nugget, a seed bead. And the way that I mean, there was nothing like scientific about how I figured out if they were going to match. What I did was I took this one and I held it over its matching component on the, or its matching bead for the other side. And when they looked like they had about the same length, then I put one on each side of the pendant. It's not like rocket science. And what I did was I just played around with stringing this set and this set like you saw when I showed at the beginning. And I just held them up. I pinched the ends where they would sit together on the necklace, and I made sure that it draped how I wanted it to. So seed bead, nugget, seed bead, nugget. I need a seed bead and a nugget. And then here in the center, we're gonna go seed bead, bicone, 2 seed beads. And right here where there are 2 of them, that's where we're gonna put our pendant. And I like to have the circle of a toggle on my left hand side. So I want to actually go through, I mean, you can always change it later because this is on a jump ring, but I want, let me slide this down and see what we're doing here. So the necklace is gonna sit like that. So we're actually looking at the front of the necklace. So we wanna come through this way on the pendant and slide it down to the middle there. And then this jump ring is large enough that it can hop out of these bicones, but you just put it back where it belongs. Or you can get, I might pull that one off and get a tighter fitting jump rope if it bothers me that much. But honestly, I don't think it will. It has enough weight that unless I'm doing jumping jacks, it's gonna sit where I put it, right? So I might, when I put it on for the day, I might have to put the pendant into the groove where it belongs, but that's really the only time I'm gonna have to adjust it. It's not gonna be flopping around all day. This one, I didn't realize how heavy it was gonna be because the original necklace that Danielle made and demonstrated, she used a pewter pendant, like a coin pendant. So it was much lighter weight than this petrified stone, or petrified wood, I'm sorry. Okay, so we're at the other side and I'm gonna take 3 seed beads and then we're going to join together with a 6/0 seed bead. And then we're just gonna do this same thing, this same 11 11/0s on each strand, both through a 6/0, 11 11/0s, both through a 6/0. And I'm gonna do it another 9 times on this side. And then I'll show you how to attach the other clasp and then how to travel back through. So, let me just put on that 6 so you see what I'm doing here. Okay. We come together. And then when I'm wearing it, this is going to hang right in front of that strand. And there's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 check glass showing on each side, and then there'll be one that lines up right behind it. Just like that. Okay, so I'm going to put the 9 segments like this, and I'll meet you back here in just a second. Okay. I'm back. And if I said I was only doing 9 on this side, I don't know why I said that. I have 10 on this side, 10 segments. And so I have 10 segments on this side. And then what I'm gonna do now is find where I put the other half of my component. There we go. My toggle clasp there. Okay, so then I'm gonna go, just like at the beginning, I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3 on this side. I'm gonna grab my toggle, and then 1, 2, 3 on that side. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to, before I put them all the way down, go through these 3, because this is where I'm turning around to come back down. Okay? Like that. And so we're beginning to cross over. Now this needle, I'm going to go through the other 3. Oh, goodness. I'm going to go through the other 3 and the toggle as well. Okay. And so let's give them a little tug here. Just slide that all down. Okay. So, now you don't want to yank on this, but you do need to start creating tension. You don't want any big gaps. Like I was noticing, oh, looks like I got it out already. I was noticing one in this strand earlier, but we want to make sure that we just both ends give, I'm not tugging hard, I'm just like gentle tugs to pull out any slack that, you know, we don't want it so tight that the beads cramp up on each other. But there is also, we're not set in stone yet. So what you're going to do now is, I'm going to pull this up closer so you can see it. So this side, we're going to come down through the 6-0, and I'm going to go through one side. And really, once we get to the entire other side, that's when we can really start to adjust the tension. So I went through to the next 6-0 and to the one after that. And then this way, you want to make sure that you're not twisting up your sides, or you're not going to be going through both sides to reinforce. Does that make sense? So you kind of want to flatten out your work so that these aren't twisting. You don't want to get an extra loop on there. That really just wants to loop. My goodness. There we go. Okay. So now we've come through this side. So with this strand, we're going to come through this side. And you want to make sure that you don't miss any beads, because if you skip over even just one, it's going to stick out really funny when you go to tension your necklace. And then you're going to have to go back, and that's never fun. Okay, so we're beginning to double back here. So you don't want to get too far ahead of yourself on which one you're doing, so that you can, keep track of which side you've reinforced and which side you haven't. So I'm going to untwist these a little bit here, like that, just keeping it nice and flat. I probably should have done that before I started to reinforce, but I'm just going to do it as I work my way down. Okay. So we're flipped out nice and flat there. Okay. So I'm going to continue down this side, and I'm going to go like 2 sections and then come back for the other needle and make sure I'm going through the other side and pass this one, like leapfrogging. Does that make sense? So that you can get the most pass out of each time you're handling a needle. You don't want to do just one section at a time or one section. I mean, if that's what you need to do to keep track of which ones you're reinforcing, then do that. But if you're trying to move along with a little bit more speed and efficiency, then don't get tangled on your tube of seed beads, then you can kind of leapfrog. And that twisted over, but that's okay. So we're gonna leave that one there, and we're coming back through this side. And I got a little critter on my mat. We wanna, okay. I'm gonna pick that up just so that I could get a good angle on it. Okay. And going through here, and it appears that the strands twisted in this 6-0, which is no big deal. We're just gonna work our way down, right, and provide a little tension there. And then I just want to make sure that I don't go through the 3. See, I grabbed a couple on this side because I think they did a little twisty-roo inside there. So I'm actually going to back out. I'm going to back out of those 4. Sorry, I miscounted. Back out of those 4 because those actually belong to the right-hand side one. And just take your time. You want to make sure that you're getting every single bead and that you're reinforcing your necklace the whole way down. So what we're going to do is just that and reinforce your way to the middle. Once you get to here, just split through and follow through your split strands and then follow up to the other side. And once we get to the other end, I'll show you how to knot it off and finish it off. I'll meet you there in a minute. Okay, so if I wasn't clear when I was explaining it, my left needle has traveled all the way down here and has come to my amethyst strand, and I put it through the first 3, and then I just set that needle aside. And so then I'm gonna finish reinforcing down this side here. Like so. And we're gonna take a left turn down here and head toward the bicones. And at this point, you don't have to really chase. I can take this needle through the whole bicone strand and then stop at that side and then come back and get this one and come through the whole amethyst strand and then leapfrog my way back up to the clasp end, and I'll show you how to tie it off. Okay, so we're at the end. I've got a strand coming out of each lane of the seed bead strand here, right? And so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take one of them and I'm gonna go through the 6-0 and then up and around through the 6 that are on this end, the 6 11-0 seed beads, and through the clasp, and through the 6-0 again. Through the 3, through the clasp, through the 3, 6-0. We're going through the whole end and looping back around. And this one I left right before the 6-0. So pull that through. Okay. We're gonna give just a couple little gentle tugs for tension. We don't want this to be super tight to where things are buckling, but we don't want any big old gaps either. I think we're good. Okay. And so we're coming out, one's coming up the lane here, and then the other one came up and through the clasp. And so we're just going to tie a few knots, and all these knots are going to hide under the 6/0 seed bead. So you can go to town with knots to make sure that this does not come loose at all. And what I'm going to do is we're going to go like this. This is my left string and this is my right string. So I'm going to go my left over right and pull that down. And then I'm going to go right over left. So that's over the left one. And tuck that down again. It's a square knot. Nothing crazy. And then I'm going to do that again. But this time I'm going to go right over left. Left over right again. But I'm going to go twice around and pull that down. Sorry, this white thread's not showing up at all. Demonstration purposes would have been nice to have a black thread, but I'm using transparent beads, and so a black thread would show through that. And so then we're going to go right over the left hand string twice and pull that down. And that's not going anywhere, you guys. That knot is not going anywhere. I'm going to give that a yank on both sides. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to get my thread burner. You don't need one of these. You could just trim those and tuck them in. But what a thread burner does is this little tip here gets smoking hot. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to burn off, when you press the button, it gets hot. I'm going to burn this line, like right there. And do you see how it kind of balls up? Let me zoom in here. You see how it kind of balled up right there when it melted? We're looking to cut the thread, but also melt a little ball right there so that, oh, did I do it totally off? Okay, well, I got a second strand here. We can try again. I'm gonna try and do this one looking through the camera. Okay, so you're gonna cut your thread by melting it, right? Yep, done. And now you see that there's still a little bit of thread right there. We're going to melt that thread toward the knot and create a ball that won't travel back up through the knot. Does that make sense? Oof, and don't breathe in when you're melting plastic. And those knots are going to sit right underneath that 6/0 seed bead, and no one will ever know that they're there. I keep this little silicone tip for just keeping that nice and protected, and then I always screw on the cap. I don't know if you saw or heard, this one takes 5 clicks to turn on and 5 clicks to turn off, and then it's rechargeable with a USB-C there. They do make ones with batteries, and I found myself just going through batteries on the regular. Okay, let me see if I can zoom out even more. Don't pay attention to the mess on my crafting table. Pay no mind. And then let's take a look at the finished necklace here. Let me get these out of the way. That is the finished necklace. And, you know, here we go. We got our easy toggle clasp. And then it hangs just like that. And that will sit right in between those 2 check beads. And as this is open on my chest, right up around this, because I have a neck that's gonna keep this open, as it's hanging there, the weight of this we'll pull that down into a V, and then this will kind of just U-shape right behind it. Just like that, you guys. All right. If you made it this far, I totally appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Like my video. Hype it if you want. Leave a comment. Let me know if you like this color combination. It took me quite a bit of digging through to finally decide on this light, smoky topaz to go. I think it really plays with those stone luster beads. Here, let me zoom in here. I think it plays really well with these stone luster beads, which really highlight the banding and the cream color here in the bottom. And then you've got these purple, pink purple amethysts that really bring out this end of the pendant. All right, guys, until next time, I'll see you later. Bye.